Good afternoon. This group is made up by Juana Herrán, Alejandra Giraldo, and Sharick Villanueva. For today's presentation, we are going to talk about errors in similar words in English. For this, we did a survey in which 24 people participate. Some of these people were close to us, and others belong to a language exchange app. It should be noted that all the participants had different levels of English, and there were even participants who had English as their native language, who help us with some observation.
We are going to start by the first one that was answered, that had 15 of 24 correct answers. So the question was, what is the correct way to say that something was taken illegally? So as all of the participants didn't have like an advanced level, we made the questions in English and in Spanish. So in Spanish it would be like, ¿cuál es la forma correcta de decir que algo ha sido tomado ilegalmente? Possible answers: the bike was theft, the bike was stolen, or the bike was robbed. And the correct answer was the bike was stolen. The explanation: most of the participants identified that stolen refers to something that is taken illegally, and another part made the relation between the Spanish word robar and robbed, so they thought that it was the correct answer. The second question had 13 of 24 correct answers. And it was, which of the following sentences is correct? ¿Cuál de las siguientes oraciones es correcta? Possible answers: I knew him last year. I met him last year. I would like to know Paris. And the correct answer was, I met him last year. Hal and one more of the participants identified the correct answer of this question, and the other half answered that the right answer was, I knew him last year. So we could identify that the difference of their use, which depends on the context, is not known by half of them. And the third question had 18 of 24 correct answers. And it was, what word would be correctly used to describe a person's skill in an action? ¿Qué palabra se usaría correctamente para describir la habilidad de una persona en una acción? Possible answers: good at, well, excellent. The correct answer was good at. And so the explanation is that we could identify that most of the participants identified the different use of good and well. Maybe they used as a guide the article at to identify the correct use of these words. And the fourth question had 8 of 24 correct answers. So could you say if you find any difference between the following words? Robbers, robbed, and robbery. ¿Podría decir si encuentra alguna diferencia entre las siguientes palabras? The correct answer, it was an open question, so it was no like an specific answer, but like the general answer would be, robbers are the people who perform the illegal action. Robbed is the verb rob in past tense, and robbery is the act. The explanation: when asking directly if they find a difference between these three words, the majority of the participants could not identify the difference. Not even all the advanced English learners could answer this question correctly. Some of them just know the meaning of one of the words. Others thought that the three words were the verb rob in different tenses, but the majority answered that they did not know the difference. The fifth question was had 21 of 24 correct responses, and it was, complete the sentence. If you had and there was a space, to study abroad, you should take advantage of it. En Spanish it would be, completa la oración. Si tienes el espacio, para estudiar en el extranjero deberías aprovecharla. Possible answers: possibility, opportunity, probability. and the correct answer was opportunity. Explanation. Almost all the participants answered correctly this part because they made a relation with the Spanish words possibility, posibilidad, opportunity, oportunidad, and probability, probabilidad. So they inferred the correct answer by that reason.
Well, for the sixth point, we had 16 of 24 correct answers. So the announcement was choose the correct option, having into account the context of the following sentences. So en Spanish will be elige la opción correcta teniendo en cuenta el contexto de la siguiente oración. It was a wonderful to space Andrea. If I space her phone number, I will contact her. So the possible answers will be met, no, no, met, and no, no. The correct answer was met, no. The explanation of this one was that the people had to use those similar words correctly in the sentence, not only having into account the meaning of met and no, but also the context of the sentence. It's normal to confuse the meaning in the context of no and met. In Spanish, most of the cases, it is the same word for both scenarios. So the next one will be the seventh point, that we had 15 of 24 correct answers. It was. Since I was a child, I dreamt to space Milán. Desde niño soñaba con espacio Milán. The possible answers were visit, travel, know, and see. The correct answer was visit. So the explanation for this one is that in this case, we notice that people have made a relationship between the word visit and visitar in Spanish due to the context of the word Milan given in the sentence. For that reason, in most of the cases, that one was easy. Okay, so in the 8 point, we had 20 of 24 correct answers. That was one of the easier. So we have, I would like to invite you to the cinema to space a movie together. En Spanish will be me gustaría invitarte al cine a espacio una película juntos. The possible answers were see, watch, have, and saw. The correct answer was watch. In this explanation was difficult because it was easy, but we don't have like the reason why. So in this point was the easiest of the form, and a big quantity of people answered correctly. So probably because of their knowledge of English, and the difference between those words was fully understood during previous practices or also without knowing the language. In the 9 point, we have 17 of 24 correct answers. Each will be which of the following sentence is correct. So, ¿cuál de las siguientes oraciones es correcta? The possible answers were I knew him last year, I met him last year, and both are correct. Ambas son correctas. The correct answer was I met him last year. The explanation of this point was again remembering the meaning of the words depending on the context. We see again the difficulty trying to answer correctly using new and meet. So basically, for the same reason, people confuse the meaning of their primary language with the meaning in English. And the last one, that was the 10 point, we had 19 of 24 correct answers. So was, what is the difference between steal and rob? ¿Cuál es la diferencia entre steal y rob? Both mean the same thing and are used on any occasion. That will be the first option. The second one will be rob. It is used to for people and places, and still is used for specific objects. And steal, that is just a noun, and rob, it is just a verb. So the correct answer was rob. It is used for people and places, and steal, it is used for specific objects. The explanation of this one will be that a big quantity of people answered correctly without knowing the meaning of the words. Was surprising to just choose an answer by heart.
As a conclusion, we found that in some questions they infer that the correct answers by the relation they made with Spanish words as visit, visitar, opportunity, oportunidad, possibility, posibilidad, etc. But when asking directly the difference between the similar words, they couldn't or could not give one explanation.
So many of them didn't know the correct use of these words depending on the context. They knew the correct answer by the relation with Spanish words. Others choose an answer by heart because the word use has been explained to them before, as in the case of watch and see. In other questions, they said that they could not see any difference of use, as in the case of meet and know. For many of them was the same thing. So thank you for your attention. Bye.
Bye.